Happy Monday, everyone. I hope you're doing fabulous. Starting off the final week of October. Yeah, holidays are coming up fast. I know some of y'all love Halloween. I never was a huge fan of it growing up, mostly because I couldn't celebrate it. But yeah, move on with that. Anyway, I'm here. I am back from Florida. Printing United was exhausting, as most trade shows are. A bunch of you guys came out and said, hey, so thank you. Those of you who came to find me at the DTF station booth. It was a great time. There was a lot of the vibes were like super, super high, which I always enjoy it when the vibes are high. I had a lot of fun at the DTF station booth. A lot of the crew there I'd never met before. Obviously, I knew Vince and a couple of the techs and the owner and a handful of other people, but there was a lot more of the crew I got to meet this time, and so it was a lot of fun. And if nothing else, it solidified like I love partnering with them. Like they've got awesome stuff, which I'm going to show you some of it here. Took some video of some things, but just, yeah, everybody that was working there, similar vibe, majorly high energy. I loved every bit of it. And they're bringing some really pretty cool new stuff. So, and just overall, the vibe of the show was pretty positive. Some shows there's like, it's sometimes positive, but it was a fun show. I had a good time, even though I was at the kind of locked into the DTF station booth for the first 2 days. The Friday when I went around on my own, it was good times. Jonathan, what's happening? You've got the Epson G6070 or whatever it is. I found out that the Epson guys are sharing some of my videos with their customers who have issues that I've solved on videos. So that was kind of fun to hear that the Epson guys are sharing my content. So looking forward to maybe some potential collaborations with them, showing off their stuff, maybe doing some webinars. It's going to be pretty sweet. So I actually mentioned you, Jonathan, because I was like, hey, there is one person who's running it that is on my live streams. So yeah, so do me a favor while we're giving another couple minutes for people to trickle in before I start going through all the stuff I saw. Thank you, Matuba. I appreciate it. It was really fun at the show. My wife got to watch it dawn on someone that I was from YouTube. Somebody was talking to me. I was talking to them about the Epson printer, because at the DTF station booth, they had the Miro 36, which is DTF station's dryer shaker for that printer for the Epson. And they're talking to me, and all of a sudden they stop talking and they like look me up and down. I don't know why. Y'all don't see my legs. I'm just an upper body. I'm just an upper body floating. But they're like, wait a minute, you're the guy from YouTube. And I'm like, yes. So it was a lot of fun. I always love those interactions. They're great. I don't even remember what I was saying. What was I getting ready to say? Whatever. It's fine. Those of you who hopped on live stream on Wednesday, it was great. The live stream on Wednesday at the show was perfection. It was the feed was great, the quality video, and then Thursday it was trash, and Friday it wouldn't even work. So I'd hope to live stream more from there. I hope to show you guys more stuff that I came across. But yeah, Wednesday was great. Every other day was horrible for streaming. So what's happening, Carl? All right. So if any of you were at the show and you saw something cool, share it in the comments. Let's chat about it. But a couple things that I saw at the show. One, Esteban has a video over with on the AA Print Supply Co. YouTube, All American Print Supply, their YouTube, where he showed there's a company called Brown. They had like a full-fledged, like beginning to end automated process, both printing, powdering, curing, pressing, all that kind of stuff. It's like a one-shot thing. So I didn't get a chance to see it running, but Esteban at All American Print Supply has a video on that. So make sure you check that out. Frank, what's happening? Frank did threaten to sell. He texted me. Frank texted me, he said, hey, I just sold your wife a hat heat press. punk. It was a little bit bananas. My wife got to go to the show. She got to see Frank, and Frank gave me a hard time about selling her a hat heat press. FYI, she's probably getting a hat heat press. I should have got it for her birthday. Because, women love appliances for their birthday. Anyway, hey, Lana. All right, so that was one thing. The brown, all like contained thing. Like I said, go check out Estevan's video. I didn't see it running, but it looked pretty cool. Stalls has their 3D liquid 3D patches, what they call them. They're pretty rad. Like, there were a couple demos in the booth. There was one that was like this dragon logo, and the dragon scales were like textured. And there were some other ones that had like a brick texture. All right, here's my wife's highlights. Hat press, of course, as it always is. Stella and Stanley. So she found these shirts that were super like soft. Like, obviously women love the soft shirts. And she found some white shirts that weren't super see-through. I know that's a major issue for women. And it was really funny because I was talking to one of the reps in the booth, and I told her I'm in the DTF space, and she was talking about the softness and doesn't like the plastic feel of DTF transfers. And I showed her my wife's shirt, which I have a distressed texture, and then I reduced the white underbase to make it a little bit more vintage looking. And so it's super soft. And her eyes, when she like touched the transfer on my wife's shirt, she was like, oh, wow. So guys, DTF folks, there's a lot of opportunity to show people that we can do a better job. That's all I'm saying. Yes, I'm going to show the folder in a bit. And yeah. There was this, totally not related to DTF. There was this booth that it was printing on these bottles. And it was really just a kind of a demo unit. But instead of using like a track system, they're using magnets under the floor of this thing, like the Disney rides. If you've been on like the Rise of the Resistance, they're not on tracks, or like Mickey's Clubhouse Mania or whatever it is. They're not riding on tracks. They're like actually like moving around. Anyway, it was a super cool like demonstration of what can be done with robotics. There was a decent amount of robotics stuff, not just in the DTF area. And there was one booth that had like a demo video of their robot that can put shirts on and take them off the platen. I think they're going to have a full version of it at Impressions in Long Beach. So looking forward to that. What's happening, Kevin? It was great to hang out with you, Kev, at the booth. It was awesome. Jonathan, we have converted. Everybody give some clappy emojis in the chat, because Jonathan was not a second presser. He was a single presser. Yeah. Second press, massive. Now you're going to jump down the rabbit hole of like, Jonathan, you're gonna go down the rabbit hole of what should you use for second press material, because everybody has a different opinion about it. Y'all know that like my favorites are T-Seal, sandpaper. Those are kind of my two. I just love T-Seal. I just like the feel of it. I understand it's not for everyone, but my goodness, I love it. Well, I'm glad we converted. One of us. Anyway, Cecily, what's happening? Thanks for hopping on the live stream today. All right. So being at the DTF station booth, they had a lot of stuff. They had one of these at the show, so I was able to demo it, show people show people how it ran, be like, hey, this was printed on mine at home, and share about my experience with this printer. But they also had a few new things. The ARC 127, which is their cutter, is not necessarily new. It's been out for a little while, but it got a lot of attention because it's not a very big footprint. There were a couple other companies that brought some cutters that were gigantic. Now, granted, they also sell gigantic printers, so it'll probably work okay for their situation. But the DTF Station ARC 127 cutter was pretty cool. Integrates with DigiRip, Digital Factory. The drivers for NeoStamp are supposed to be out very soon for their cutter module. NeoStamp has not done a lot with cutting, but they're definitely adding it to their arsenal. And the thing that I thought was the coolest about the ARC 127 is the ability to do a regular cut and a kiss cut. And if you don't know what that is, instead of cutting all the way through the material, it cuts through just the top layer of the material. And one of the things that I find most annoying about UVDTF is I can't get the A and B sheet to separate nicely. I don't have fingernails, like very good fingernails. It's a personal problem, but I can never get them to separate. And with the kiss cut, it was able to pop right off and I could pull the stickers immediately off. So the annoying piece that I've run into with UVDTF has been that separation, and the kiss cut does a perfect job of separating because I just bend the film and it pops open. So it was huge. What's happening, Jerome? I will keep you updated as I hear updates. So that was my favorite thing about the cutter, was seeing the kiss cut on the UV DTF. Obviously, regular DTF, a nice square cut. That's going to make it easier for your team to align stuff when they're pressing, because when you get like drunken cuts that don't go exactly straight, it's kind of weird. It's hard to be straight. So that was one thing. Two of the actually new things that they launched, one was a dual platen heat press that was just running the whole time, and it was really good. The nice thing about it is if your shop does sublimation and vinyl and DTF, like you do multiple pressing types of things. Esteban, you were reading my mind because I'm talking about it right now. I like the 10. It has 10 presets, but not just temp and time. A lot of machines do a temp and time preset. That's totally normal. What the dual Prisma from DTF Station had was pressure adjustments in their presets. So you could preset your pressure, your time, and your temp, like 10 different ones. So you could run a different setting and you're not adjusting pressure or anything like that. So for a shop that does multiple types of decoration, that is huge. That is a major, major difference from really any other heat press setup on the market. So that was huge. And it ran, literally they had it running in auto mode. So all 3 days, it just kept going psh, psh, like the entire time. And it ran like a champ. I think 10 is not enough. Jonathan, 10 is plenty when nobody else has them. So, okay, Kevin, I'm getting to it. And I'm getting to it. My wife already mentioned it. Okay, so in my opinion, the most popular thing at the DTF Station booth was their new folder. Frank. Yeah, I know. You work for Stalls. I sell Stalls heat presses. I like a lot of it's a Stalls heat press right there. But I'm just telling you what I saw that was new and special and fancy. Ain't nothing new about that, the Stalls stuff. You use about 45 different settings. Jonathan, I think you need to streamline your process a little bit. Okay, so I haven't played with the Stalls Fusion yet, or the Air Fusion. Anyway, all right, back to what I was saying. The most popular thing, and if ever a couple walked up to the booth and there was a man and a woman, husband and a wife, the folder would run and the wife's eyes would go, ooh. Now, you might think folding, are we really this lazy? And yes, we are this lazy, but if you think about how much time you spend folding, like putting the garments either bagging them or putting them in boxes, it pays for itself real quick because it's not expensive. So, guys, I have a video of it running. This is the Fold Flex 100. Look at this. Now watch what happens to the shirt. It disappears in the bottom. This is there's a mode for folding single shirts, but this is for like stacking up, either for like retail, like stacking on the shelf for retail environment, or for like putting a bunch of shirts in a box. So they fold up here, and then it drops it down below with someone who actually knows how to unfold a shirt, like I don't right there have a clue how to unfold a shirt. Um, this you can do about here. I am taking it out, and there it is. So you stack it up right there, and then a friend showed up. I was in his shop a couple weeks ago profiling some equipment. So this is if you're doing a single, like bagging up individuals. So it's got that little flap that folds down, and then it holds it up so you can slip a bag over the top of it. This by far got the most attention at the show. And sometimes, guys, it's those little things that you don't think are necessarily that groundbreaking or earth-shattering. I kept joking that I need a bigger closet at my house so I can fit one of these in my closet. Yes, Lana, exactly. Yes, Kevin, you need to get one of these. Emma Tuba, an insane amount of time. So they're saying that you can do about 300 to 350 shirts an hour with the drop down, like it's doing right now. And I can totally see that you would do that. And I can see after folding like 20 shirts how it would get so annoying. So I did 10 shirts. I'm doing some shirts for the youth theater that my daughter was a part of for their Christmas production. And I did 10 shirts, guys. And I had to fold those by hand. My wife will attest, I was complaining the entire time I was folding those 10. So the reason why this is huge, it's $5,000. It's $5,000. It's totally self-contained. That whole like footprint, it's like 3.5 feet by like 4 or 5 feet. It's not huge. And it's $5,000, give or take a bit. I think they're releasing officially in like 6 weeks is when they'll start shipping. But $5,000, give or take a bit, is ridiculously good deal for what that does and how much time that saves. We just hire high school kids in the summer to fold them back. Correct. Yeah. So, sorry, I was just reading some of the comments that were popping up. I wonder if I should put the comments. Ooh, this is a new feature on StreamYard. I'm trying to decide. 100%, Jerome. $5,000 is cheaper than an employee. Now, I think that it makes an employee more efficient because literally there are shops where people just spend their job is folding stuff. So yeah, $5,000. Even the cutter is like it's $12,000. But when you think about how much time people spend cutting, there are different bottlenecks where you can really kind of speed up your overall production. And I think that was kind of really the shift or the I would say the attention at the DTF station booth was more efficiency. The dual platen heat press, the folding machine, and the cutting. Those were kind of the big things that got the attention. Obviously, anybody looking at the Lana started at a shop folding 7 years ago. And now look at you, Lana. Now look at you. Yeah, so obviously the Miro 36 got a lot of attention because the Epson printer was getting a decent amount of attention. So a couple other things I saw. What else did I see? Oh, I was walking and I saw this booth about color stuff. And there's a software out there and they're saying, so if you've ever tried to match a Pantone, you know that you kind of have to do it manually. Even if you have a good ICC, you still have to match it manually. So this booth was offering a digital way of like guaranteeing a Pantone match. So I got the information. I'm going to wait to download a trial. So it's like a 30-day trial. I'm going to wait until I'm home for more than like 2 days because I really want to delve into it a little bit more and see, because if there is a digital way to match Pantones, that is a huge time saver for any shops that are needing to match Pantones. A lot of shops don't have to. A lot of shops just need a good ICC that makes PNGs print really nice. And that's it. That's all they need. So I'm stoked to look at that. Jerome, cutting is exciting for my customers, paying for cutting gang sheets for them. Yeah, yeah. You guys can charge for cutting. Just don't forget that you can charge to cut their gang sheets down. Now, granted, it's a little different for shipping because you're not just shipping a roll, so it does change some things. But charge for cutting, like there's some opportunities there. But I will tell you the standard, like the Graph Tech ones, where you're like feeding it through, those tend to struggle. Like I was a while back, I was working with trying to get the Mamakis working for cutting DTF film, and it doesn't do great because the feed back and forth, it likes to slip. It doesn't hold on to it nicely. I think the flatbed cutters like the ARC 127 and some of the other ones I saw out there, those flatbeds are what's going to be the better option for cutting DTF transfers. And any shops that I've seen cutting transfers, like before the show, I've seen a few, they're using a flatbed cutter. Let's see. One more question, then I'm going to get to Alex's question. There's some software in the nice called Color Drive. It was supposed to color match, but it wasn't very good. Correct. Yeah. So, and the problem is we're trying to do a physical match to something in the digital when there's so many weird little tweaks and stuff that happen in the digital. So that's why I'm intrigued to see if this software works really well. He's a pretty well respected color guy in the industry, so I expect to be pretty good. Chroma ink. Look, I have a totally unbranded sample of DTF Chroma. So DTF Station released their Color Prime Chroma ink, and they had it running in all their machines at the show. And I will tell you, it was pretty impressive. Like, just they were using it in their CMYK setups, and they're producing some colors that were kind of shocking. One of the reasons that they've asked me to test this is because they've done their tests in-house, and they say it extends the gamut like 10 to 15%. Generally, obviously, there's some like nuance to that, but they want me to test it and see if it actually if it's doing the same thing in like my setup, my shop. So 2 pieces of news. One, I'm not going to China. I could not get my visa in time. There were delays, Chinese New Year stuff. So I am not going to China like I thought, which is totally a bummer. But I've been on the road so much, I've not had really a lot of time to do stuff. So I'm going to take that week that I was supposed to be in China, and I'm gonna work here in the studio, in the space. I'm going to put this ink into my printer. I'm going to test profiling it. I've got a course for Neostampa ready to go. I just got to sit down and record it. So there's a lot. And also, like, I still haven't done my friggin' beach vacation roll of DTF. I haven't edited that down yet. I've just been so busy on the road. So yeah, so I'm going to be shifting and doing some testing when I was supposed to be in China and some recording of some videos. So bummer I'm not going to China. Stoked I have a week at home to profile and build some stuff out. Chroma is not the brand of it. Chroma is like Color Prime is the brand, and DTF Station is actually working to push that Color Prime powder, ink, and film, all 3 of them. And so, but Chroma is their new version of their ink. And it's just this new extended gamut stuff, which isn't like officially, I think, out yet, but it will be out soon. And yes, Alex, it will need a new ICC. And they're building out profiles for all of their machines. So if you do get Chroma, and you just update either Neostampa or DigiRip, you should be able to get the new profiles that they built. I actually got to meet the guy that builds all their profiles, so that was a lot of fun as well. So no, not yet. And I had some discussions because DTF Station does do RGBO, which if you follow the channel for any length of time, you know I'm not a huge fan of that combo. We had some discussions, and there will be continued discussions about some options. And he's got some other options for inks as well. And so, yeah. So that's some of the new stuff is out. Oh, another new thing I saw. I was wandering, talking to different booths, chatting with people, and I came across the TL Promotions booth. That's Dennis Moon, his crew out of Texas. And I appreciate the innovation he's going for. He definitely tries some new stuff, push some new stuff. One of the things I think has been most intriguing that he's been talking about has been a thinner PET film. So the actual film that all of the stuff is on, that PET film, is thinner. And he's been talking about it for a little bit, and I've been intrigued by it because I'm like thinking, if this works well, having a thinner PET film means reduced shipping cost. So we actually, my wife and I, got some of the transfers, and guys, it is like insanely thin. He's doing a really good job with his profiles. They look super bright and vibrant. Obviously, these are sexy images. I saw somebody posting about like, demo me some ugly images, meaning demo me some stuff that it's not flashy, but it shows off what, like, that the ICC is actually dialed in right. So like gradients and stuff like that. But anyway, so I got some of these demos and I'm going to press it right now. So let's pop over to my GoPro cam, the pressing cam. And I'm going to press this. If any of you all have ever pressed before, you know that if you haven't, like, if you don't press, like if your first couple presses are a little funky because the bottom platen isn't heated up much. So I'm just going to press this down just to kind of heat things up a little bit. But let's take a look at this. So we've gotten no variable white underbase. So I'm not sure what rip he's using, but we'll press this on there. Make sure you guys can see that well. And I don't remember what instructions he gave for pressing instructions, but I'm just doing my normal 290 for like 12 seconds. That's kind of like, I'm kind of doing that across the board when I'm pressing. All right, let's see. Okay, so we got some moisture stuff trapped in there. I don't know if you guys can hear this. It feels like a very thin, like cellophane or something like that. But let's press that with my favorite T-seal. All you haters, zip it. Love my T-seal. So it is a single mat. It's not a double mat. That's why we got a shiny backside to it. And all right. So, I mean, it looks fine. Looks good. I don't have any like qualms about it for sure. But like, it's definitely so much thinner. Like, let's see if I have a transfer of my own sitting here. I mean, it's dramatically thinner. So you're going to reduce your shipping costs quite a bit. But yeah, so I mean, less waste. But I don't know if anybody else is doing it. And my concerns about this would be the ability of the sheet, the carrier sheet, the PET film, to handle the layers of stuff that you need to put on there, the coating you need to put on there. I'd be concerned about its durability and its ability to hold the stuff properly for long periods of time. So definitely like the idea and the innovation. I just think there needs to be some more testing to get it there eventually. And I feel like the colors faded ever so slightly, but that might just be something I'm seeing. But one thing I'm seeing is there's a bit of a glow around this, and I'm gonna show you guys. This is something that I will iPhone. This is something that I look for in an ICC profile. So see how we have a little bit of a step right there? That could be something in the image, but when I've seen like a hard step like that, it's usually an indication of the ICC being a little off. Even like that right there. And like I can do some things to like bolster color reproduction. Yeah, again, I don't know what the original image looks like, so I'm just going off some things I see that would tell me maybe the ICC needs a little work in those darker areas. And darker areas are definitely the harder of the areas to profile. So anyway, again, interesting stuff I saw. Not necessarily like, is it going to change the industry? I don't know. It could. Jerome, just switch to a thicker film. Yeah, I don't know. This industry is still very young, guys. So there's going to be innovations all the time. And I appreciate the people that do like try the new stuff for sure. All right. I know I missed a few questions up here. Yeah, Matuba, we do need to have a discussion about recycling and what to do with these leftover pet films because they're not technically recyclable. Now, Jonathan, wait, Kevin, where are you recycling it? Because to my knowledge, I don't know any place that is recycling the pet film. Part of the other problem is the coatings might make an issue with some of that. So he advertised not using pitch rollers over the pet film. How does he not get head strikes? I saw that printer running with the conveyor belt. I have reservations about it. So he doesn't get head strikes because it's sucking it down like it's got a vacuum system on it, like all of the printers have. My concern though is like that head height between the print head and the actual film below. That's a pretty like finite number. Like we're talking like 2 millimeters, and if you go up like 1 millimeter, it can dramatically change the way the ink is landing on your film, and it can screw up like the dot formation, and we can get like really nerdy, nitty gritty stuff. That's some of my concerns. I saw it running. Equipment innovations are one of those things I want to get my hands on and mess with it. I want to break it. I want to find out where its failure points are. But those are some of my concern. Is not the conveyor belt moving the film. That's not really that big of a concern because technically like your pinch rollers are pushing the film through. So I can see why it's not ideal because you might get I've seen machines pucker up a little bit coming out of the film. So yeah, I don't know. Again, another idea that's maybe partway there, but I wouldn't say it's like a for sure like innovation or something huge. So yeah. Yeah, there's a vacuum holding the film down on the conveyor belt, just like all of our other existing print systems. They all have vacuum to hold the film down flat, but they're holding down to a metal plate that's flat versus a conveyor belt. I'd be concerned about that conveyor causing issues with the head, other issues with the head. That would be my biggest concern. Again, if I got my hands on it, that might be alleviated if I actually like was in there working on it. So, well, hello, welcome, Bros Gamer 2012. Welcome to the chat. First time commenting. Welcome to the silliness. Yeah, I'm happy to get into questions. We're already 40 minutes in the show, but yeah, let's do questions. If you guys got questions, let me know. And I've pretty much covered all the stuff that I was really impressed with that I saw at the show, or things that seemed to. Oh, no, I didn't. I'm going to come back to your question in a second because I need to not skip over this. I'm going to freak out a lot of people. If you haven't heard yet, DuPont has a jettable adhesive, powderless DTF. And y'all are going to be like, we've seen this before. No, thank you. Hear me out. The powderless DTF that was released a few years ago from the crew over at CobraFlex was stuff that came out of China. The first batch worked really good, and then every other batch after it was a mess. And they kind of got stuck in the middle of that. And so there is a lot of reservation in the industry right now. And I had this conversation with the crew at DuPont, is there's a lot of reservation in the industry because of that bad experience a lot of people had. Should I have given a trigger warning before I talked about this? Sorry, didn't want to cough in your ears. If anybody can do jettable adhesive well, it's DuPont. Talking with them a bit about it, I definitely it feels amazing. Like they have the transfers, like they had some transfers that were printed with it. They feel ridiculous. Like if this can work, um it is it is massive for the hand feel. Like not even ridiculous. Um it is technically available, sort of. And what I mean by that is they are pretty sure that it needs a different kind of system to work. Um, the curing process and temps are going to need to be different because of the way that it lays down. It really won't do well going down and then down into a dryer like it is right now. Like it needs to be kind of held flat till it cures. Um, so so I think the print systems, because it does jet out of an i3200 print head, they're saying it should work fine just like that. It treats it like the white ink, except that you don't really want to contract it. So I think DuPont, and this is, and talking with them, I got a little bit more of an idea of their like ethos as a business, as a company, is they create well, in this case, they create the adhesive powder or the adhesive, but then they need partners in the industry that will build the systems around it. So I think we're a ways out from it being like on the market because it's probably not going to work well in a traditional system like this. Like I couldn't just throw it in there and print and it would work. But they've extended an offer for me to come out and play in Delaware in their facility up there, their test facility. So I'm hoping I might be able to take advantage of that at some point to get my hands on it. Like I said, the feel is ridiculous. Like it is so soft. Like they printed on poly, which we all know poly is tough to print anything on because it feels like something. So that got me really excited because of the hand feel. Like I said, I think we're still a ways away from something being commercially viable. But the nice thing about it jetting out of an i3200 is if you've got like a forehead printer that does like CMYK, well, actually, yeah, a forehead printer, you could sub out one of those whiteheads for an adhesive channel. Because you really don't need more than one white print head, even for two CMYK heads. So there are a lot of machines out there that I see we could sub it out for it. So it's getting there. It's close, but we're not quite there yet. So yeah. So timeline, not sure on that yet. Yeah, kind of like a varnish, but obviously on the underside. Color gamut consulting field trip. I'll have to talk to the crew at DuPont and see what they think about that. I agree. I think that the crew, the company out of China that put out the adhesive powder or the jettable adhesive early on was just too early. They were too early to the game, and I think we're still early stages of it, but I can see a huge potential there. But we'll see. My wife got to feel it herself too, so significant difference in the hand feel. All right, I'm going to go back up to this question. Bros, again, thank you for jumping into the chat today, your first time. So if you're editing your graphics, I think you should be editing them in RGB. Now, the printers all use CMYK. And why do the printers use CMYK, not RGB? Because of the way that just colors are produced, and we can get the most color reproduction out of using cyan, magenta, yellow, black. If we use red, green, and blue, like those actual ink colors, in a subtractive method, which is printing, the screen you're watching me from right now is an additive method, meaning you add those colors together, it gets white. With subtractive printing, or in this case, any kind of inkjet, we're laying it down, and it's a subtractive method, meaning the more colors we add, the darker it gets. So CMYK, or cyan, magenta, yellow, is the best combination to produce the most color options from a small set of inks. Obviously, if you add other colors to the mix, you can do more. So it kind of depends on what you're asking in this question. But if you're designing in Photoshop, Canva, Corel Draw, whatever, Kittle, you want to be editing in RGB. Because if you edit in CMYK, your software is going to do some like assumptions on the color reproduction, and it's not super accurate. Your best bet is to just do RGB, because the way that the ICC profiles work is they're going off of a lab color space, and just if you do CMYK, your computer's going to do some weird stuff with rendering the color a little differently than it's actually going to run on your system. So I hope that answers your question. But they are technically all printed in CMYK, but that's because those are the ink sets that we use for printing. And you can get brighter results using some different extended colors if you want to use extended colors. I know that Jerome, who's on the stream right now, he has a system that is using orange, green, fluorescent yellow, and fluorescent magenta as his extended colors, and it gets a lot brighter results. So when I press on my DTF on a polyester t-shirt, some spots start to appear over time. On the actual transfer, spots start to appear. So, or it might be some dye migration happening. Polyester shirts are tough, especially 100% polyester shirts, because if you press at a higher temp, like honestly, you don't really need to press DTF over 300 degrees, in my opinion. I can see why on some cotton shirts you'd maybe want to go 315, something like that. But anything over like 290, 300, you run the risk of the dye in that polyester sublimating, basically regassing and finding its way up into the ink. And so that's what's called dye migration. And you get that a lot with polyester shirts, especially cheap polyester. So the best way to combat that is to lower your press temp. Most DTF powders will press down to like 265. You just have to press them for a little bit longer. But pressing polyester, especially 100%, is a balance of heat and pressure. So the lower you can run your temperature, the higher you can run your pressure without getting that big box around stuff, or without the dye resublimating and finding its way into that transfer. But on a bright red polyester, 100% polyester tee, your white is oftentimes going to come out pink. Just is what it is. So best way to do that, like I said, is to get your temperature down so it doesn't do that. All right, let me make sure. Alex had a question. Honest answer. So my honest answer is, right now with the regular color prime, I don't think there's much of a difference between the color prime and the DuPont. Running both of those ink sets is a similar experience. And what I mean by that is, the first time I ran DuPont ink after running Chinese inks, it was a surprising difference. Like, it was a different experience printing with those DuPont inks than anything else I had previously printed with. It's a similar experience with the color prime stuff. So I like them both, honestly, honest opinion. Now, this stuff, this chroma stuff, I might like it more. Color-wise, the standard color prime and DuPont both behave very similarly. Now, I have heard some reports that the opacity is a little bit reduced in the DuPont white. Some people aren't a huge fan of it. I haven't used it in a while, so I can't vouch for that particular thing. But I know from a color standpoint, both of them perform really well. So I really honestly don't have like a hard opinion on it. I think either one of those are a good ink set for you to go with for producing the best, most vibrant colors you can. Again, we'll see what the chroma does. I might change my mind in a couple weeks when I see the chroma ink. So either one of those, you're going to be happy. And either one of those, it's going to behave better. Like I said, I think the color prime is the reason this machine treats me so well. Like, I abuse it. I don't print on it hardly at all. And I leave it for weeks at a time. And I come back and I do a few, like clean up the wiper blade and everything, and it just runs. So, and I don't sell either one of them. So you can't say that I'm preferring one over the other. But yeah, I do like both of them. I like both of them a lot. And I will tell both of them. I would tell the DuPont guys and the DTF Station guys, I like both of them. I really do. So you won't. Now, I've seen some stuff that I've not been super thrilled about. Other brands. So generally, Color Prime, DuPont, you're going to be great. All right, let me see what other question we got popping in. Does the fabric material have anything to do with the DTF quality, and what are the considerations we should take when it comes to fabrics? So quality, it doesn't affect the visual quality of it, like i.e. the resolution, how the colors look, aside from like a poly. Like I said, the poly, like a red poly, a red cheap 100% poly is going to tint things pink because the dye is going to resublimate. But when it comes to like the feel quality, yes, the fabric has a dramatic effect. Like if you're, I know right now what's really popular is the heavyweight tees. I saw an 8-ounce heavyweight tee. I was like, my Lord, that's like a sweatshirt for me. The heavier the fabric, the thicker the transfer can be. You don't have to worry about underbase as much or knockouts as much. You still should consider them, but it's going to feel a lot softer, or it's going to be less noticeable on a heavier garment. Obviously, if you're doing like a dry fit or 100% poly, you need to work hard to get that transfer to not be as thick and feel as thick. So there are considerations to take into account. There are some, like the comfort color tees, tend to need a little bit more heat, I feel like, to press them well. Also, if the garment holds heat better, like if it doesn't dissipate heat super quickly, you might struggle with your hot peel. If you have a hot peel and it's not peeling hot, it may be because your garment is not cooling down enough for that adhesive to grab. So I would try reducing your temp a bit because you're probably pressing too hot. But some garments just retain heat. Canvas, like a canvas tote bag, those will retain heat more than a cotton shirt. So on those kind of items, you probably need to let it sit just a hair before you peel if you're trying to peel hot. So Kyle Nixon comedy, so I'll watch this later. That's why I leave these like they're always up for after the fact, because two things. One, I answer a lot of questions here. I will go back and, like, when somebody emails me a question, I will literally go find the timestamp and I'll just share them the link to the live stream with the timestamp. So Kyle, all good. Enjoy that lunch, sir. Enjoy it. Let's see. Always design primarily. Yep, exactly. You should be designing primarily in RGB because of what your computer is going to do when it's rendering an approximation of that CMYK color. So if you get spots over time, I would be concerned that your DTF transfers are not cured fully. That those spots are maybe like the glycerin kind of working its way out. Spots appearing over time, that's an interesting one. I would venture to guess it's under cured slightly. So I would maybe try to adjust your curing up a little bit. And the reason it might be showing up on poly and not cottons is because the cotton might be absorbing some of that, whereas the poly's like rejecting it, like it might be absorbing down into the cottons, and the poly rejects that, like transferred down into it. That would be my thought on that. Not seeing the actual photos, not experiencing it myself, I would venture to guess that it's a curing thing. Yeah, and if you guys are editing, Jerome's exactly right. Adobe RGB 1998. It's built into Photoshop, well, Illustrator doesn't really use color spaces. They just use RGB or CMYK. But if you're using Photoshop, edit in RGB 1998. if you've seen my videos on better color, like there was a live stream that we did, and I showed you guys how to install Adobe RGB98 into your RIP so it forces that. That's a great way to do it. But again, editing in Adobe RGB98 is going to be the best to get the most color out of your machine. Alex, I think the most interesting I saw was, or I don't know about interesting. I think my favorite thing of the show was that folder from DTF Station. I think that was my favorite thing. It was just really freaking cool. And a time saver. Like I don't do much folding because I don't do much printing. But like I said, last night I pressed 10 shirts and I was like so done folding them by the time I got to the end of it. But well, all right. Any other questions? Anybody else who was at the show that you saw that you just like loved? Otherwise, I'm going to kind of wrap things up here today because I am headed out of town again. I think this is 7 or 8 weeks in a row I've gone out of town. This week I'm going to Nashville, back to a shop I was at before. They added a new printer, so I'm going to go profile that to get it in with the rest of it. And then I'm headed to New Orleans. First time I've been to New Orleans, so that's going to be fun. I've actually never been to Louisiana at all. And some of you are going to be like, oh, go check out the food. Guys, when I travel for work, I'm not going to if I can grab some food, I do. It's great. But I'm just there to work. And then I get home. And honestly, I miss my own food because I usually cook at home. Jerome, any good TPU patch printers? What's a TPU patch? I'm going to Google it. Oh, guys, I haven't even talked about, I didn't even talk about my giveaway. Okay, there's a few. Oh, hey, quick dose. Thank you for watching from Dubai. That's fantastic and exciting. Okay, so let me, I've totally forgot about this, guys. If you don't know, I'm giving away a free color profiling. So if you go to colorgamutconsulting.com/giveaway, that was the wrong button. I am giving away a free color profiling. So you can just fill out your information, enter. You can get more entries if you subscribe on the YouTube, follow me on Instagram, all those kind of things. You can sign up there. You can also share it with your friends and get up to 20 more entries. So it's running through December 12th. It's running through December 12th, and then I'm going to announce it on the live stream on the 15th who the winner is. And they're going to get me at their shop for free to color profile their printer. Whether it's a small little desktop thing or a big gargantuan sucker, we're going to color profile it. And I'm going to film. One of the reasons I'm doing this giveaway is this community has been freaking amazing. Since I started this thing on my own, this community has been absolutely amazing. And they're allowing me to do my own thing, to be my own boss. And you guys are just bombarding me with wanting me to come out and profile. And so I'm giving this away not because I have a lot of spare time, because honestly, I've got 6 shops that are waiting for me to come out to them if I can come out before January. Otherwise, they get me in January. But I want to give back to this community that has honestly made it possible for me to do this. And I'm going to film while I'm in that shop profiling. I want you guys to see kind of the process that I go through when I'm in a shop profiling. So I'm doing this giveaway because I want to give back. Honestly, there's a little part of me that's hoping it's a small shop that couldn't normally afford to bring me out, that maybe has a smaller machine. That's kind of honestly a little bit what I'm hoping for, but I'll be happy to go out to a bigger shop too. That's totally fine. But yeah, I just want to give back to this community. I know Jonathan entered, forgot what email you used. Nice. Jonathan has the Epson G6070, and he's like, it looks good. And I'm sure it does. But I was actually chatting with the guys at Epson, and they agree. A bespoke profile for a specific printer will always look better than a default profile. Always, always, always. So, Carl, you can enter. Go ahead. colorgamutconsulting.com/giveaway. And you know, I am a loser and I didn't create a little banner. colorgamutconsulting.com/giveaway. I could also probably put a link to it in the chat, so I'll do that as well. Save, show. There it is. colorgamutconsulting.com/giveaway. You can enter on the site. You can enter. Obviously, most of y'all are probably already subscribed, but you get extra entries for that. So, okay, let me go back up here because people were asking. Oh, goodness. Lots of stuff came through while I was on that tangent of my giveaway. So, Frank, every person I talked to is buying a DTF printer. Of course, I'm trying to discourage this. Frank, you and like everybody else who prints transfers. Okay, so here's the thing, Frank. I don't think that if people have DTF printers that it necessarily negates stalls. Obviously, you guys have Transfer Express. But you guys have stuff that, like that Liquid 3D, those patches are something else and different completely. And I think that if people that print DTF, they're sleeping on what you guys have. And actually, I think, because I stole one of Frank's catalogs. Let me find it, because I think it was in here. Frank, what page is it on? I'm just kidding. Let's see. I thought it was in here. I looked at it the other day. But they've got like reflective patches, and they have like this, guys. Like they've got all these different textured options. So where's the market headed, Frank? I think that smaller shops that are not producing a ton of transfers, maybe you're just getting started, I think it's better to buy transfers from someplace local, someplace big, like a Stalls or any of these other companies that offer transfers. But I think if you're starting off and you don't have a garment decorating business, it's better to buy transfers while you build your business up. Because it's really hard to learn how to build your business while you're also learning how to run a DTF printer. Now, if you've got a garment decorating business and you're just wanting to add DTF to your mix, buy a printer, go for it, because you're going to have a lot more ability to make adjustments. Also, if you are producing a lot of your own like your own finished garments, having the ability to adjust your white underbase is super, super powerful. So where do I think the industry is going? I think there's still an insane amount of room for growth, because now I think the general public is starting to catch on to these heat transfers. A lot of people are just calling them heat transfers. But what's interesting is that every time I think that we're getting close to saturation, I run across a lot of screen printers that are not doing DTF yet. I ran into so many at the show that are not doing DTF yet. And so I think the sky's the limit. I think that, yeah, more and more people are going to have the ability to make their own DTF transfers. But Frank, I think what Stalls offers, what Stalls brings to the table is the other unique things, the nuanced stuff like the Liquid 3D patch or whatever you guys calling it. So I think that you guys offer something unique that other people don't. And I think that that's powerful. I have a course that's ready to go. Like I have the outline, the script, everything done. I just have to record it, which I'm going to do when I was going to be in China, but not anymore. I'm going to ask you, can you just come on to Baxter and bring me the printer we discussed? I can't put it in my carry-on. It's not going to work. Shayna, enter the contest, and then I'll come out. You know, Carl, I don't like touristy spots very much. Sometime I'll have to share my my Italy story with you. UVDTF. Is this in response to something else, Jerome? Oh, is that to your comment? Any good patch printers? Okay. So UVDTF, most of them are using the standard RIPs. Digital Factory, Neostampa, Flexi. I mean, pretty much all the RIPs can do UVDTF. The DTF station ones are running Neostampa or DigiRip. And the ones coming off of the DTF station stuff are pretty good. I know Frank's wife runs Prestige. I know they've had a couple issues with it like bunching up the film. It's being a little persnickety. It's being a little finicky. And Frank will attest to that. But the actual transfers themselves coming off of it are actually really nice. The colors are bright and vibrant, like crazy bright and vibrant. And the interesting thing with the UV stuff, the UV DTF, is there's got to be a balance of like amount of curing, because if you cure it too much, it becomes brittle. If you don't cure it enough, it's not durable. So there's this like really finite balance, which I think DTF station has a better handle on that balance than anybody else. But yeah. Ryan is the one in New Orleans I'm going to see. I'll message you. We'll see. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Got it. All right. What else we got? Yep. Especially I've gotten pretty good at it. So anyway. Boy, you guys are popping off today. Let's see. Yeah. So these fun places, like my wife is like, New Orleans, I want to go. And I'm like, cool, but I'm working and I just want to get in, do my job, get Ryan all set up so his printer's printing beautiful, and then get back home because I like my bed. Shrimp po' boys, yeah, I'm gonna have to probably try something like that. I don't know. I'll ask Ryan. We'll grab dinner the night I get in. Thank you, Jerome. I appreciate you. Let's see what else. Goodness, I'm getting there. French terry. Is that like a terry cloth or what is French terry? Holy smokes, there's lots more comments. Good Lord. I'm getting there, guys. I'm getting there. What's French terry? What's French terry? French terry fabric. What is French terry? Hey, guys, here we go. What is French terry? French terry is a versatile knit fabric, soft loops. Okay. So my guess is there something in there? Is it 100% cotton? Is French terry 100% cotton? Okay, so that box you're seeing, Khalil, is either like the color like getting tweaked when it's heated, because there are some colors like blue, like a deep blue shirt or deep red shirt may look a different color when it's first pressed, but as soon as it cools back down, it goes back to normal. With polys, it's because you're actually burning some of the fibers. So if it's not 100% cotton, I would guess that you need to reduce your temp a little bit. So Khalil, if you let me know what time temp you're pressing at, I would venture to guess you're probably pressing a little bit too hot. So I would treat, anytime you see that box and it stays there, I would treat it like I would a poly. I would want to reduce my temperature to see if that adjusts, or my pressure a little bit. I'm going to kind of try to figure that out. That's why I always encourage you guys, if you ever do a new fabric or a new item, test it before you sell it. Like if someone reaches out and says, hey, can you do this kind of a shirt or this kind of a jacket? I would test it first before you commit to doing it. because you might find that it behaves weird and you need to practice a little bit. And then you can build that practice budget into those items you're selling. So maybe. And then they'll have to buy a new printer, and then they'll have to hire me to come out and profile the next printer. I did not take any pictures of the Saul's patches, honey. I will have to I'll have to maybe get some from Frank or order some myself. My wife has a really cool patch idea. She's a big Iowa Hawkeyes fan, and I think we're probably gonna. I'm gonna maybe try to use the Stahl's Liquid 3D. I'm gonna maybe try to order. I know the Liquid 3D are not out yet, but they have a bunch of different stuff. I gotta double check. But anyway, yep, screen printer now offering DTF. Yeah, so some of the films are cheap. On the UV DTF, some of the films are really cheap and crappy. And the film that it prints down on top of is what carries the adhesive. And so if it's a poor quality adhesive, like that can change the quality of what you're doing. And so not knowing where stuff comes from, that's why I'm going to, like, if you are going to do UV DTF, if you really want to push that direction, the system that I think that performs overall the best is the Prestige, their Aries, sorry, not Prestige. Prestige is DTF, Aries. The DTF Station Aries line, because it's going to be the Color Prime film. They've got a little bit more control over the films that they're working with. That I would have to get back to you on that. TPU patch. So yeah, the flatbed you can do a lot of different things with that you can't do with the UV DTF. So like, that's more of like, if you're printing on a patch, that's more of a UV printing method, not UV DTF necessarily. So the flatbeds are usually for standard UV, not UV DTF. Otherwise, you're printing on sheets and it's slower than molasses in January. Smiling Mike, it was great to see you as well, sir, at the booth. Wonderful. Ryan, I thought it was a date. I was looking forward to our date. Let's see. Oh, you guys are giving me some great recommendations. Well, Rachel, take note, because you've got some good recommendations here. So, oh, there it is. Esteban covered the liquid. Oh, that's right. You did interview Dave. I remember seeing that. So, you guys are having fun. Yeah, Esteban's video, you guys can go watch it. It also covered the brown, the all automated DTF thing that was showing up. So, yeah, you guys are great. Awesome. All right. Got that lingering thing still going. Luckily, I've got a mute button, so you guys don't have to hear me cough. All right, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I think that was good for today. It was a great show. I think anybody else that was there could definitely attest to that. Yeah, so I will be back on next week when I was originally going to be in China. I don't know that I'll have had time to do anything with like putting this in yet, because one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to film how to swap out the ink, because swapping out ink is not something that you should do carelessly, because there's a thing called chemical clogging, and it's where, and Frank can attest to this, he's seen it happen because I did it in his wife's shop. We had some ink mix that did not like each other, and they chemically clogged. So you got to make sure, if you're unfamiliar with how the inks are going to interact, like going from the chroma or the color prime to the color prime chroma shouldn't be an issue. But just so I can make sure my results are like dialed in perfect, I'm in a flush hole system. But I'm going to film a video on how to do that, the proper way to flush your entire ink system. So we're going to do that. Although I won't be flushing the white, because there isn't a chroma for the white yet. We're just going to use the standard color prime white. So yeah, so I'll be doing that. So we'll see, but I'll be back here next Monday with another topic to discuss. Maybe some things I saw, maybe some things in New Orleans, who knows, or Nashville. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Again, reminder, go enter the contest for the giveaway for the free color profiling. Again, I appreciate you guys so much. You've been fabulous to me, and I am looking forward to what we got. Oh, we got another question coming in. You guys like to come in hot at the end. Let the RIP software do it. That's its job. So let the RIP software convert from RGB to CMYK. Don't do the conversion yourself, because the RIP software is really designed to handle that switch. That is what it's designed to do. It's designed to convert from RGB to what your printer is doing. Now, you can also do CMYK, but I think RGB is way better. So, Dan Campbell, thank you for asking that question. Thank you for tuning in. I see you're from Facebook. Hey, guys, my Facebook page finally had 100 followers on it, the Color Gamut Consulting one. And so I'm actually finally live streaming over there today. So I know a few of you got the request to go like it. So, yep. It allows your ICC to do all the work and the RIP software to do all the work of converting RGB to CMYK, or to the printer's CMYK, or the printer's color set. Because if you're like Jerome and you've got fluorescent colors included in it, it'll work those in. But anyway, all right. Again, thank you all so much. Go enter the contest. Go win it. Share it with your friends. And have a great rest of your week. Enjoy your Halloween. If anybody's using DTF to make their Halloween costume, let me know. If you guys know me from my previous place, we did shenanigans on Halloween. But yeah, let me know. If you're using DTF to make your Halloween costume, that'll be great. And I have an idea. I want to do a collaboration with a cosplay person. So if you're not familiar, you got like the sci-fi Comic-Con kind of thing. Those cosplay, they like to make their own costumes. I think DTF could actually be a really cool tool for customizing those costumes. So I have been kind of on the lookout for a person in that world to do a cosplay with. You're frightening the kids, Alex. You're frightening the kids. On that lovely note, y'all have a great rest of your week. I'll see you in November for the next live stream. Same time. Wait. When is daylight savings time? When does it switch? Daylight savings time 2025. When does it switch? You guys are probably going to tell me in the chat while I'm trying to look this up. Oh, November 2nd is when it switches. So I need to remember, because I am in Arizona where we do not change time, because rest of y'all are crazy. So I have to remember that I need to stream from my house at 11 a.m. for it to be the exact same time everywhere else. Because I will change so you don't have to. So I'll see you back here. Same time, Eastern, 1 p.m., Pacific, 11 a.m. I will see you guys all next week. Daylight savings. I don't have to change my clocks, but you do. But I have to change the time I stream so I don't mess up. Have a great week, everyone. I'll see you later. Bye.